An aspect of human preference that I fully believe right now, despite not really researching it at all yet, is that on average I think we are biased towards both the things we experienced in our childhood and also just our firsts in general. I think this is especially true with games that are designed to stimulate a lot of emotions. Think about your favorite RPGs. Do they tend to be the ones you played when you were younger, some of the first you've played? Recency bias is real too. I've certainly met those people who only really like what they've experienced in the past 6 months or so. But I think the former is far more common, at least with gaming. A series where we see this play out big time is The Legend of Zelda. It's super common for Nintendo fans to be attached to their first Zelda game, and that makes sense, right? I mean, first of all, they're just colorful, lighthearted adventures perfect for older kids. But also, these games are literally about growing up. It's about being a kid, having the adults in the room tell you to go to your room, but you sneak out and have an adventure anyway. Naturally, this is all building to the point in the segment where I tell you that The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker was my first and still favorite Zelda game. But that would be a lie. Wind Waker was like my third or fourth Zelda game. I honestly don't remember for sure. First was definitely the original on NES. My first 3D game was Majora's Mask. But after that, I'm honestly not completely confident where Wind Waker fell. So why the heck did you bring all this up, Jason? I hear you yelling. Don't you yell at me, I'm getting there. For whatever reason, my experience with Wind Waker was so powerful and formative that in my brain, it kind of occupies the space of my first Zelda game. Like, if someone asked me with no warning what my first Zelda was, I could honestly see myself slipping up in the moment and saying Wind Waker. The experience I had with it was just so profound for me and has stuck with me so deeply. Why is that? As silly as it is to admit, I do think the visuals played a big role in this. Everyone talks about how well Wind Waker has aged, especially compared to other games of its era. Even when I was a kid, I could look at Ocarina of Time or even Twilight Princess and say, ew, old game. I don't want to play old game, I want to play new game. And Wind Waker HD still looked pretty dang new to me. The world felt bright and inviting, like somewhere I would actually want to be. And the fact that adventuring happened on a boat in the game gave me an early experience of something I love in games. Looking at a pretty scene while I travel, and having time to think. Not to mention, the introvert in me probably loved having long stretches of time where it was really just me and my boat, and constant detours to whatever little curiosity we could find out in the water. I do actually really like being on boats in real life too, and I genuinely can't tell you whether I like boats because I liked Wind Waker, or if I liked Wind Waker because I was predisposed to liking boats. I honestly think it might be the former. Like every human ever, there are things from my childhood I've held on to, but also things from my childhood that literally didn't even crack the top 366. Why have I still held on to Wind Waker specifically? Because every single one of those attributes I just listed that made me like it as a kid still holds true as an adult. I probably couldn't have articulated why I liked Wind Waker with that much accuracy as a child. I can only spell it out for you now so clearly because the feelings are the same. The game still hasn't aged a day, the cel-shaded presentation still makes me feel warm and happy, the sense of adventure I feel is one of the strongest in the series. And yeah, I still like boats. I have never in my life had a desire to actually own a boat, yet there's a small part of myself that wants to get one day just so I can name it after the boat in Wind Waker. I am so different from how I was when I was growing up. I hope everyone is, frankly. So I can't help but marvel at Wind Waker, a truly rare case where child me and adult me are on the exact same page. It's not nostalgia from childhood taking over, but I'm also not overriding my childhood thoughts in pursuit of maturity or intellectualism. We are simply in complete agreement on this one. Wind Waker is still one of the all-time greats.